Okay, so we're gonna discuss first things first. We're gonna talk about uh, the hand gestures of what they, how they use the hand gestures and what they do. This is an insert from J.C. Cooper's An Illustrated Encyclopedia of Traditional Symbols. The author notes that hand signs include the following symbol meanings. So, you see the hand on breast, that means submission and the attitude of a servant or slave. So, if you see you put their hand on their chest, that's showing the submission or servant of a slave. Crossed at the wrist, signifying the X, could mean binding or being bound, which means they're constricted to a certain organization. The hand on neck could define a sacrifice. Clenched fists. If you see like politicians, they use their hand gestures with their thumb above their index finger. Trump does it a lot. Trump, Bush, all of these guys, these politicians, they do that. That shows threat and aggression. Raised hand can either define adoration, worship, horror, or amazement. Both hands raised, palm outwards, shows defines weakness, supplication, acknowledgement, adoration, and admiration. Hand raised to head, so if you see like their hand is like pointed towards their head, or if it's on top of their head and it's showing any signs of gestures of the hand on the head, that could signify thought, care, intellect, and wisdom. Okay, so the international secret language, right, is the occult hand sign. Um, they have many different gestures, how they do it, and how they, you know, keep things in order, and so just to communicate with one another. Others too, besides Adler, have noticed the frequent use of hand signs in the media as signals of secret society insiders. So, if you pay attention to a lot of hand signs, they'll show you that they in it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna break down some of the hand signs that we seeing here. When you see these individuals, depending on how their hand is shaped, what I'm saying, it could mean like uh, the where it depends on where they're praying to. You know what I'm saying? Where they praying to. Prayer hands pointed downward defines praying to Satan. So if you see people with their hands prayer hands pointed down, um, it's a prayer, meaning a prayer to Satan. It's like a mockery of God. So this is what they do. Here you got a picture of Bill Clinton here, the devil himself. You guys remember when I showed y'all that DMX album cover? They did the same thing by putting the M behind DMX's head. Well, here's a picture of Bill Clinton on a Time magazine in the same position. Head placed behind the M, purposely done by Time magazine. These guys are all occultists. They all are in this organization. You know what I'm saying? This is how they make their money, man. You know what I mean? This is how they make their money. You can't knock them or be mad at them. This is what they do. I'm gonna get to a few other things as well. Okay, so here you got an artist. I guess he was a Russian artist. He did paintings before. He drew the Beauty and the Beast. Um, I guess his name is Mark Chagall. He was drawing a painting of the Beauty and the Beast, but the beast is represented as a horned individual. You know what I'm saying? If you look, it looks like a goat. But I want you to pay attention to that angel in the top left corner. That looks to be as if it's a demon. It's dark colored. It's not depicted as white. It's dark colored. And just below this picture here, you have the Dutch architect Rem Koolhaas. He was, I guess, he was like an architecture. He designed a lot of stuff. It says the Guggenheim Museum, public libraries, Prada stores, in addition to the Whitney Museum in New York. Right here, they have the male and female esoteric lines pointing straight from behind his head. Again, this is done purposely. This is done on purpose to signify that he is a part of the occult. A lot of these individuals do this on purpose to show, if they know that they're taking pictures and they find something like this, they do this purposely to get their message across to their friends, I guess. Here you have a picture. I believe it looks like it comes from either tarot cards or I'll just read it. But it says a well-known witchcraft newspaper carried this illustration. Okay, so I mean, of the goddess and her consort and master, the horn god Lucifer. The Cupid-like angel is their son. Below is an ad offering magic products for the new eon, the new age, which is apparently a new religion nowadays. The magnetic example given magical powers of Lucifer and his goddess mate are boastfully shown to uphold planet Earth. So now, if you take you're looking at this picture here. You see that there's a horn god, which he defines Pan, I'm believing, and then the moon goddess on the opposite side, and they're over the world. So this is blatant here. This is plain blatant, as if they're making a statement saying that they own the world. You know what I'm saying? The angel down there is not an angel from above. That is what you may call an imp. They are holding I think that's called. The nurses use that. I know a lot of nurses use that symbol. It's like a stick with two serpents going around it at the top. I'm not sure what the name of it is. If you know the name of it, leave it in the comments below so other people could do their research. And then you have below again is the Pan and the moon goddess. So if you guys are into witchcraft and you're black, just know you're taking the pagan European route of this. If you should find yourself and get into your history of where you come from. This is European stuff, man. We don't subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? Black people don't subscribe to these things, man. I keep telling y'all that. So here you have a picture of this is from Manly P. Hall's book. It looks to be like they saying in the title, the demon Mephistopheles shown being conjured up by a magician and a Masonic scholar and 33rd degree Illuminati's Manly P. Hall's 1928 book classic, occult book classic, Secret Teachings of All Ages, bears a resemblance to Yoda. Yoda from Star Wars. So it would be safe to say that Mephistopheles is basically Yoda, I should say, is basically depicted as Mephistopheles. So these guys are smart, you know what I'm saying? They know people are not going to really do their research on it. But if you pay attention in the left corner of that picture right here, there's a picture of Baphomet, and he's doing the as above, so below with his hand. You know what I'm saying? So, this is what's going on here. This is why I said I don't subscribe to as above, so below. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Black people have to know that we ain't supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't supposed to be doing that stuff. All right, so this is we gonna get to this here. This is the horns, also known as El Diablo or the horn of Canuto. Okay, so a lot of y'all say, "Oh, that means I love you." It's not. It don't mean nothing. It just means rock out. So you see these rappers doing this. This is a significance of how they send a message to it, how they communicate to one another. You get what I'm saying? This is what's going on here. Okay, so it says El Diablo shows his horns. The devil rides out. People that are Christians now but were Satanists recognize President Clinton's signal at his inauguration as a sign of Satan. That seems fairly cut and dried, and it is. Clinton communicated what he wanted to the people to whom he wanted to communicate. The whole affair with him flashing the satanic hand signal took only a couple of seconds. Now y'all remember I told y'all the lady at the lady at the party, she had on the chain on that first image, the chain of the second image, excuse me. It wasn't the thumb under the fingers, it was the thumb above the fingers. The last one, the third one from the right could be taken as "I love you" and for people of hearing impaired, because the thumb could represent I, the index could represent love, and then the pinky is you. So yeah, and then it says here, it is being flashed everywhere on TV, in newspapers and magazines, at sporting events, and even at presidential inaugurations. You know what I'm saying? So you see these dudes throwing this up. This is what they do. I'm referring, of course, the sign of El Diablo, the horned devil, also known as the sign of the cornuto. Okay, cornuto. It began in the modern era with followers of satanic cults. So this started from satanic cults. This is not something that we people been doing since the beginning of time. This started from the Church of Satan. The members of the official Church of Satan and heavy metal rock music bands and fans flourish the sign of two separate fingers upward sign. The rock bands made it popular and trendy, and now it seems almost everyone is doing it. So when you ask yourself, how did this get into hip hop? You can blame people like Rick Rubin. When he did that song with Aerosmith and Run DMC, it was the first rock and roll song slash hip hop. You get what I'm saying? So they try to bring rock and roll into it, because rock and roll is the most demonic music there is. You know what I'm saying? The most demonic music out there. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of listening to rock. I like rock, but it's very demonic. When you start getting into heavy metal and all that stuff, it gets very demonic. So they brought that in. They brought that into hip hop, and then then that's when they ease everything in. That's when the bull crap started coming in. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that bull mess, that shit started coming into hip hop. Here you got George W. Bush. You know what I'm saying? He's throwing it up. His wife. You know what I'm saying? His wife is throwing it up as well. You know what I'm saying? Then he got his daughter throwing it up. You know what I mean? This is what they do, man. They all into this, man. You know what I mean? They all into this, man. You know what I'm saying? You got your boy Ronald Reagan here. You know what I mean? Bill Clinton again, And who's that? Dan Quayle? That's Dan Quayle. I don't know who Dan Quayle is, but yeah, man. They all in that shit. You know what I mean? Who's that at the top? Is that new Cuomo? Yeah, that looks like Cuomo. You know what I'm saying? Cuomo the homo. You know what I'm saying? Got Marion Barry over there. He got caught smoking the hard crack in the damn hotel room, but he was down with them. You know what I'm saying? Got a bunch of people, man. The Italian Prime Minister, he's in it. Prince William of the Britain royal family, he's throwing it up. This is how they make their money, man. It's how they make their money. Down here, I don't know these two guys up at the top, but apparently they did some things. They showing their hand signs and their allegiance. But the most interesting thing down here is these two individuals down at the bottom. The top two executives of the McDonald's fast food chain jointly display interesting hand signs in this photograph in Newsweek dated from February 2004. So these two dudes at the bottom, they're executives of McDonald's, but why y'all throwing that up? You feel what I'm saying? Why y'all? Is it because they with that shit? I don't know. You take a guess. You know what I'm saying? You take a guess. You know what I mean? So here, this is and then here you got an individual. He's from the Agora sect of Hinduism. He's drinking from a human skull. It says some members of the sect practice cannibalism to gain magical powers. Now, I didn't know Hinduism. In Hinduism, they do this, but like in every culture, if they have a positive, they gotta have a negative. So, I'm sure they do magic out there as well. Here you have a picture of what seems to look like Medusa. As you can see, the snakes from her hair. This is from a book, Witches, by Una Woodruff, and she's throwing up the El Diablo sign. So, when you reading this, I mean, some people practice witchcraft and and all that stuff, which is cool. You can do what you want to do. You know what I mean? But this is what you're dealing with here. All right, so you got a Christian group, right? That they say here. This is why it's why I said you got to be careful with these Christian groups here. They all are saying, I'll read it. The issue of Newsweek trumped Jesus Rocks. The article talked about the popularity of rock and roll Christian bands, but get a load of the hand signs of several of these Christian youth. Yep, I see a few. I count about 2 or 3 of them. I see about 2 or 3, and they throwing it up. But they're supposed to be a Christian rock group. Yep. I don't trust none of this shit. And who is this? It's your boy Kevin Spacey, throwing it up, showing his allegiance. I'm not gonna read it because y'all need to go get the book. But it says some crazy stuff at the bottom. Then you even got my girl here, Salma Hayek. Oh man, do I love me some Salma Hayek. But Salma Hayek is a witch herself. Yep, sad to say, this is what they do. You got pictures of these rock and roll groups. I don't know who these guys are. Nickelback. You know what I'm saying? Throwing up that El Diablo. Pink there. You got Pink. And then who's your boy down there at the bottom? Is that Mike? Now ask yourself, right? Why would, if he was just saying, if he was throwing up "I love you," right, in deaf, just for the people that couldn't hear, you know what I'm saying? Why would he be pointing it that way? You get what I'm saying? Why would he be pointing? If it was people in the crowd, right, that didn't hear Michael Jackson music and they just wanted to hear his music, you mean to tell me the whole time they there, and all he just saying is "I love you, I love you." You know what I'm saying? He throwing that up constantly throughout the show, and that's all they can. That's all they get. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, so we're gonna talk about the serpent. Remember, I was telling you about that shiny serpent there. Yeah, that shiny old serpent, man. This symbolizes the Ouroboros. So if you ever see a picture of a snake, or sometimes they show it in movies or whatever, or sometimes they show it on. You might see. I seen a woman with a tattoo of this, but I didn't know what it meant at the time. But now, after reading this book, I'm well understanding of what it is. So it symbolizes the three versions. As a serpent biting its own tail. This shows the infinity. It signifies the infinity of the serpent. Like, it's gonna continue. No matter what, it's going to continue. They don't want it to. They don't want it to stop. You get what I'm saying? It's gotta. They want this to continue on and on and on and on and on. So that's why you have the serpent biting its own tail. It's just showing that they, wanted to continue to keep going on. Here you have down here the show, which was on Fox, called Millennium. I don't think it's on anymore, but, they got the serpent there, eating his own tail, right in front of you. Right in front of you, too. So here you have a alchemic Rosicrucian drawing of a crucified snake. Okay? So all you people out there in the alchemy, if you're into alchemy, that's cool. But realize what the background history of this. And then I'm going to get into why I don't deal with Kemet. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that. So with this alchemic Rosicrucian drawing of a crucified snake, which is a secret symbol of the philosophical Mercury, which is achieved by practice of the arcane art of alchemy. Some might mistakenly believe the cross symbol is Christian, but it is the Tau, not the cross of Calvary. The serpent S is backwards, as if seen in a mirror. So it's an S, but it's backwards. So when you see this is the Tau. This cross right here represents the Tau from the Talmud. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the infinity snake down here. You have the infinity snakes again. Each snake head represents 666. You see the 0 in the middle. Pay close attention to how they did that there. That's very clever. That's from a rock group. Yeah, wow, that's from a rock group. It says, oh man, that's crazy. Yeah. So then now here you have the serpent in the Egyptian religion. You know what I mean? In the ancient papyrus drawing, we discovered the unholy trinity of the Egyptian goddess religion. Seated is Osiris, the horned father god. Behind him is the goddess Isis and their son Horus. The snake is the focus of this trinity. The woman goddess is therefore depicted with the head of a serpent and with destroyer weapons in her hands. So she's got the snake over her head watching over her, and she's going to destroy some shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, y'all got to be careful what y'all out there playing into, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to be careful, man. So here you have a woman. I can't really read the article. The imprint is too small. But in 1974, Harris Patty Hearst was kidnapped by members of a group calling itself the Symbionese Liberation Army, also known as SLA. The group took this picture of Hearst, who inexplicably actively participated in crimes with SLA gang members. Conspiracy researchers subsequently discovered that the SLA was a secret revolutionary project funded by the FBI. Oh no, it's all fake. So here you have a picture for my peoples out there that like drinking. You know what I'm saying? They got the snake around the Crown Royal bottle. And notice it says tempted. So it goes to show you that this is what they doing, man. They doing this on purpose, man. They doing this on purpose. Just they say when you drink, you drink its spirits. You know what I'm saying? And this is what they do. You gotta be careful, man. Do everything in moderation. That's what I say. I ain't judging nobody. If you out there drinking, do everything in moderation. Don't be getting drunk and shit. You know what I'm saying? Have a drink here and there. You know, drink some wine or some Henny or whatever you're drinking, and just do it in moderation, man. Or don't do nothing at all. Okay, so here we have another depiction of the snake. This is a New Age magical publication of the new moon rising. So you see above her head, she has the yin and the yang, also known as above, so below. If you look at Busta Rhymes' new video with Anderson .Paak, right? They doing the as above, so below in that video as well. Busta is wearing a white suit and Anderson .Paak is wearing a black suit. If you notice behind them, Busta has on a white suit, but the backdrop is black. Anderson .Paak has on a black suit, but the backdrop is white. So they're doing the yin and the yang, as above, so below, right in front of you in that video, to show you that they're representing duality. Then you see on each side of the pillar, there's snakes on each side of the pillar. She's representing the moon goddess. Okay, she's standing on a pillar. You see, there's two pillars there. Then they have the wings of I believe that's Horus at the top. Yeah, man, this is crazy here. You have Medusa's head. So now you hear these rappers talk about Versace, 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 Versace. You know what I'm saying? And you wonder why people wearing Versace and all of this stuff, man. You know, it's promoting the Medusa, the snake head. You know, that's why, you know, I don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of wearing designer clothes and stuff like that, but I don't wear Versace, man. You know what I'm saying? These characters that they use on these products are 9 times out of 10 demonic. Like Digital Nas said, they're deities. So you know, you see Medusa down here, and they got the Medusa head and all this stuff. Even the little squares on the Versace, you know, the little squiggly line, I think it's called. It's it looks kind of like a box square, and then it's like goes the opposite way. I can't figure it out. That's all. You know, other shit too. I could get into that, but we ain't gonna go there. So here you have Britney Spears, you know what I'm saying, holding a snake. You know what I mean? She's well, we already know she's a slave for them. You know, in her song "I'm a Slave for You," she basically broke that down that she's a Illuminati puppet, and she can't get out of it. Down here is the Ouroboros of the dragon eating its own tail, which the dragon also signifies the snake, the serpent, the beast. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. Here you have these two ancient Celtic coins for Bohemia. They're doing Ouroboros where the snake is eating its own tail. This is all to show you that it's infinity. You know what I'm saying? It's all infinity. So you know, this is what we dealing with here. All right, so you seen this label right here on the back of your dollar bill, right? I'm sure one of y'all got a dollar in the crib. You seen this here. All right, so the most famous of all seeing eyes is found on every U.S. $1 bill. It is the image of Osiris. So when you see people talk about that, oh yeah, it's God and all of that, yeah, that no. This is what they stole this. They stole this information from Egypt. Okay, okay. So you know, don't think that this is all stolen from Egypt, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and this is what goes on. The Egyptian sun god, Osiris, is the Egyptian sun god. Above the pyramid, below the pyramid is the Latin inscription New World Order, which we're dealing with now, with the pair of cloven tongues, one on each side of an unfinished pyramid. The words Annuit Conceptus in Latin stands for He favors our undertaking, or He is on our side. He is on our side. He favors our undertaking. He is on our... Who is He? Who the hell is He? You know what I'm saying? He ain't talking about God. Who is He? It is vital to know that this strange image is actually the obverse of the Great Seal of the United States, which oddly is a picture of the same side of the dollar. But why would a seal, much like a rubber stamp, need a reverse side? Ask yourself that. And it gets deeper. I'm not going to read it all because I'm trying to make this video fast. All right, so we're going to talk about these hand signs here. If you ever watch the news and you see people hold their hands like this, these hand signs here, is yeah, just yeah. I'm not going to read it because they're using terms that I can't say on my channel. I don't want to get this video banned, but yeah, this is what they're doing. Yeah, so you got these guys here, the Catholic Cardinals, and the bishops met, and then you see your guy down there holding it up. You see that hand sign right there. That's the show that they in the cult. And who is this down at the bottom? Call me now. Somebody call that number, see if it still works. You know what I'm saying? Got Miss Cleo down here with her hands. Making the gestures that she's in the order. And then, what's so crazy? She scammed everybody, didn't do no time. You know what I'm saying? And they let her go. R.P. to Miss Cleo, though. I heard she just recently passed away. Not recently, but a couple years ago. So I ain't saying nothing. She's down there. She's down there chilling. You got this lady here. I don't know her name. Teresa Carey. She's a rich lady. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to read it because I don't want to, go into it. But yeah, you guys got to get this book, man. This is dope. Teresa Carey is showing her hand signals, the gestures that she's in, you know what I'm saying, with them people. You know what I mean? And yeah, a lot of people are doing this. So they showing now, this is the significance of how the hand is placed. This is a symbol from the back cover of the Fascinating Teachings of the Talisman of the United States, The Mysterious Street Lines of Washington, D.C. by Charles Westbrook. The symbol depicted is a spear point superimposed by a modified fleur-de-lis, a symbol of the Merovingian royal dynasty. So, yeah, this sign right here, when you see this sign right here, it's very occultist. You know what I mean? This is what they use to show that they're a part of the royal dynasty. And who do we have here? Is that Miss Clinton? You dirty mother. You put a lot of black men in jail. But now we know why. Because your hands is placed that way. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. Then you got her buddy here, Bill, with his hands placed the same way to signify that he's a part of it. This is what they, this is how they communicate to one another. This is how they communicate, man. And you got your boy here, Scott Bakula. I don't know who he is, but I guess he's an actor. It says his hands are placed in the same direction. You know what I mean? He did shows at Quantum Leap and Murphy Brown. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yep, so we got a few people here, Tom Pritzker, CEO of the Hyatt Hotels. He's got his hands placed in that same position. President of the USA, James K. Polk, with his hands in the same position. You got producer David Gist and wife singer Liza Minnelli. I can't read that next part. But his hands are placed in the same position. Then you got actor Jack Bogle, who played the man in the classic Alchemy drama, The Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm saying? Him and his wife got their hands in the same position. It's ridiculous. And who do we have here? Is this my boy? Danny Glover. Danny Glover showing his allegiance too with his hands placed downwards, praying to Satan. Like, remember I said, if their hands pointed downwards, that's a prayer. So he's letting it be known. and he's with the shits.